Have you ever stepped into a place where the boundary between reality and dreams begins to blur? Where the very air seems to hum with a story far older than humankind, and the landscape itself defies all logic? These are not fantasies conjured from fiction, but tangible locations, etched into the surface of our world with a power that is both humbling and, honestly, just magnificent. They are the planet's masterpieces, sculpted by forces so immense and over timescales so vast that they challenge our very perception of what is possible. There are coordinates on this planet that seem not to belong to Earth, where the usual laws of nature are, well, rejected and replaced by an isolated order. Here, gravity feels different, colors are more vibrant, and silence speaks volumes. These are the corners of the globe where geological dramas have played out over eons, where ice and fire, wind and water, have conspired to create vistas of breathtaking, almost alien, beauty. They are reminders that the Earth is not merely a static backdrop for our lives, but a dynamic, living entity with a will of its own. In this journey, we will venture to these extraordinary realms, from snow-choked corridors to precarious cliff-top temples. We will witness the raw, untamed power that has shaped our world, and the quiet resilience of life that clings to existence in the most impossible of settings. This is more than a tour of beautiful places. It is an expedition into the very soul of our planet. Join us in uncovering the deepest chapters of the memory that Earth has buried for millions of years. Our journey begins in the heart of the Japanese Alps, a place where winter's grip is not merely felt, but monumentalized. Here lies the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, home to a spectacle that seems born of myth, the Tateyama Snow Corridor. Each spring, as the route is painstakingly cleared, an astonishing canyon emerges, not of rock, but of pure, compressed snow. These are not mere snowdrifts, they are towering walls reaching heights of up to 20 meters, the equivalent of a 6-story building. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend. Walking through this corridor, one is dwarfed, enveloped in a world of brilliant white and piercing blue sky. The air is crisp and cold, carrying the silence of the high mountains. The walls are not smooth but textured, displaying the distinct layers of each snowfall throughout the long, harsh winter. It is a geological cross-section of a single season, a frozen record of storms and stillness, meticulously preserved and then remarkably carved open for us to witness. The creation of this passage is a triumph of human engineering and perseverance. For months, powerful snowplows guided by GPS technology worked tirelessly to carve a precise path through meters upon meters of accumulated snow. It is a delicate dance, a collaboration between powerful machinery and an intimate knowledge of the mountain's temperament. The result is a perfect, clean-cut canyon that feels both man-made and entirely natural, a testament to our ability to coexist with, rather than conquer, nature's extremes. Looking up from the floor of the corridor, the sheer verticality of the snow walls is dizzying. They seem to lean inwards, creating a sense of being in a sacred, hallowed space. The sunlight filtering down from above reflects off the crystalline surfaces, creating a dazzling display of light and shadow. It is a temporary cathedral, sculpted by winter and revealed by human hands, existing for only a few precious months before the inevitable thaw begins to reclaim the landscape. The silence within the corridor is profound, broken only by the crunch of boots on the frozen road and the distant whisper of the wind over the mountain peaks. It feels like a pause in time, a moment suspended between the fury of winter and the awakening of spring. The snow itself absorbs sound, creating an acoustic environment that is both serene and, honestly, just a bit unnerving. One feels a deep sense of isolation, yet also a connection to the immense power that has deposited this staggering volume of snow. This is not just a road, it is an experience that recalibrates one's understanding of winter. Here, snow is not an obstacle, but the main attraction, a medium for breathtaking artistry. The Japanese have a deep reverence for the transient beauty of nature, known as mono no aware, and the snow corridor is a perfect embodiment of this philosophy. It is a magnificent, ephemeral wonder that highlights the immense power and delicate beauty of the natural world. As the season progresses, the walls will slowly shrink, their sharp edges softening, their towering presence diminishing day by day. The meltwater will trickle down, feeding the rivers that flow through the valleys below, completing a vital cycle. To witness the Tateyama snow corridor is to witness a fleeting masterpiece, a powerful reminder of the cyclical rhythms of the Earth and the harmonious balance that can be struck between human ingenuity and the formidable forces of nature. From the ordered precision of Japan, we travel east, to a peninsula of fire and ice that remains one of the wildest places on Earth, Kamchatka. This remote finger of land in the Russian Far East is a realm of active volcanoes and pristine wilderness, but in winter, it succumbs to a force of nature, so overwhelming it borders on the absurd. The region is notorious for its record-breaking blizzards, which can dump meters of snow in a single, relentless storm. Here, winter is not a season, it is an occupation. The snow doesn't just cover the landscape, it consumes it. Entire buildings disappear, their roofs and windows buried under a thick white blanket. Cars, trucks, and even buses become invisible lumps in a surreal undulating terrain. Life doesn't stop, but it adapts in the most extraordinary ways. Residents dig intricate networks of tunnels from their doors to the outside world, creating subterranean passages just to get from one house to another. The scenes that emerge after a blizzard are like something from a surrealist painting. A single traffic light might poke out from a 10-meter-high snowdrift, its red and green lights blinking forlornly over a world of white. The tops of street signs and bus shelters are the only clues to the civilization that lies buried beneath. Finding one's vehicle becomes an archaeological dig, an act of faith and memory, probing the deep snow with long poles in the hope of striking metal. Yet, in the face of this annual entombment, the people of Kamchatka exhibit a remarkable resilience and a profound sense of humor. There is a communal spirit born of shared hardship. Neighbors help each other dig out, and social media fills with images of the latest submarines, cars completely submerged in snow, or people casually skiing off their second-story balconies. It is a testament to the human ability to find normalcy and even joy in the most extreme conditions. This immense snowfall is a product of Kamchatka's unique geography. The cold air from Siberia collides with the moist, warmer air over the Pacific Ocean, creating a perfect storm factory. The peninsula's volcanic mountain ranges force this moisture-laden air upwards, causing it to cool and release its staggering burden of snow. The result is one of the snowiest inhabited places on the planet, a natural laboratory for studying extreme weather. The sheer weight and volume of the snow transform the environment. It insulates the ground, protecting hibernating animals like the Kamchatka brown bear. It bends and breaks trees, reshaping the forests. When it finally melts in the spring, it unleashes a torrent of water that floods the rivers, bringing nutrients that support the legendary salmon runs, the lifeblood of this entire ecosystem. The extreme winter is not just a challenge to be endured, it is a vital, life-giving force. To witness Kamchatka in the depths of winter is to see nature at its most raw and uncompromising. It is a landscape where human presence feels temporary and fragile. The buried vehicles and snow tunnels are not just curiosities, they are symbols of a constant, ongoing negotiation with a power far greater than ourselves. It is a humbling, awe-inspiring display of nature's dominance and humanity's incredible capacity to adapt and endure. Our journey now takes us to the ancient fjord-carved landscapes of Norway, to a place where myth and geology have conspired to create one of the world's most dramatic viewpoints. This is Trolltunga, the Troll's Tongue. It is a sliver of granite, a horizontal outcrop that juts out from the mountainside, suspended in the void some 700 meters above the deep turquoise waters of Lake Ringadal's Vatnet. It is a place that tests one's nerve and rewards with a perspective that is truly sublime. The name itself is steeped in folklore. Legend tells of a troll, bold and reckless, who taunted the sun, convinced he would not turn to stone. He stuck his tongue out at the rising dawn and was instantly petrified, leaving this incredible rock formation as a permanent monument to his hubris. Standing on its edge, it is easy to see why such a myth would take hold. The shape is uncannily organic, a thin, elegant sliver of rock that seems to defy gravity. The formation of Trolltunga is a story of immense power, written by ice. During the last ice age, a colossal glacier filled this valley. As it moved, it scoured and carved the mountainsides, but here, a section of the tough gneiss bedrock resisted. Water seeped into vertical cracks in the rock behind this section. Over countless winters, this water froze and expanded, acting like a wedge, slowly and inexorably prying a huge block of the cliff face away, which then tumbled into the glacier below, leaving this astonishing ledge behind. Reaching the Troll's Tongue is an ordeal in itself, a pilgrimage that demands effort and respect. The hike is long and arduous, traversing high mountain plateaus, past streams and patches of lingering snow, even in summer. The trail prepares you, stripping away the trivialities of daily life and focusing the mind on the physical challenge. This journey is an essential part of the experience, making the final arrival not just a destination, but a hard-won prize. And what a prize it is! To step out onto the tongue is to leave the solid world behind. The ground simply falls away, on three sides, revealing a staggering drop to the lake below. The sheer exposure is both terrifying and exhilarating. The wind whispers around you, the only sound in the vast emptiness. You are a tiny figure in an immense landscape of towering cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and the endless expanse of the Hardangervidda Plateau stretching to the horizon. The view from the tip is a panorama of raw elemental beauty. The deep blue of the lake contrasts with the gray of the rock and the green of the hardy vegetation that clings to the cliffs. Far below, the world seems miniature and remote. There is a profound sense of detachment, of being suspended between heaven and earth. It is a perspective that forces introspection, a moment to contemplate one's own scale in the face of such geological grandeur. Trolltunga is more than just a spectacular photo opportunity. It is a direct physical connection to the deep time of our planet. Standing on that ledge, you are standing on a piece of rock that has witnessed millennia of change, a silent observer of ice ages, changing seasons, and the slow, relentless march of time. It is a place of profound beauty and humbling power, a stone tongue telling a story a billion years in the making. We travel now to the Wuling Mountains of China's Guizhou province, to a landscape that seems to have been plucked directly from a traditional scroll painting. This is Fanjing Shan, or Mount Fanjing, a sacred peak whose name translates to Brahma's pure land. It is a place where nature's architecture becomes so fantastical that it appears to be a deliberate act of divine creation. The mountain is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protected for its extraordinary biodiversity and its even more extraordinary geology. The defining features of Mount Fanjing are its two narrow spires of quartz sandstone, the New Golden Peak and the Old Golden Peak. These are not mountains in the conventional sense. They are vertical islands of rock, remnants of a much larger landmass that have been sculpted and isolated by millions of years of erosion. They rise dramatically from the surrounding ridges, their summits often shrouded in a sea of clouds, giving them the appearance of floating in the sky. The ascent to the summit is a journey through different worlds. One climbs thousands of steps carved into the mountainside, passing through subtropical forests teeming with rare species, like the Guizhou golden monkey. As you climb higher, the vegetation thins and the rock begins to dominate. The final approach is a heart-stopping climb up near vertical cliff faces, with iron chains bolted into the rock serving as your only handholds. It is a climb that feels less like a hike and more like a pilgrimage to the heavens. Perched precariously atop each of the twin peaks is a Buddhist temple, one dedicated to Shakyamuni and the other to Maitreya. These tiny sanctuaries, built over 500 years ago during the Ming Dynasty, are marvels of ancient engineering and devotion. How their builders managed to transport materials and construct these temples in such an inaccessible and dangerous location is a mystery that only adds to the mountain's mystical aura. They represent an incredible act of faith. Connecting the two peaks is a short, narrow stone bridge, suspended over a chasm known as the Gold Sword Gorge. To cross this bridge is to walk through the clouds, with a dizzying drop on either side. It is the symbolic link between the present and the future, a physical manifestation of the spiritual journey. From this vantage point, the world unfolds below as a tapestry of green peaks and swirling mist, an ethereal landscape that seems to change with every passing moment. The geology of Fanjing Shan is as unique as its appearance. Unlike the more common granite or limestone peaks, these are formed of incredibly hard, resistant metamorphic rock, primarily quartz. This is why they have survived the relentless forces of erosion that have worn away the softer rock around them, leaving them standing as solitary, defiant sentinels. Their surfaces are weathered and gnarled, telling a story of unimaginable age and resilience. To stand on the summit of Mount Fanjing is to feel a sense of profound peace and detachment from the world below. The sea of clouds, known as Yunhai, creates a soft, silent barrier, muffling sound and isolating you in a celestial realm. It is a place that has inspired poets, monks, and artists for centuries, a landscape where the physical and the spiritual are inextricably intertwined, and the boundary between earth and sky truly seems to dissolve. Our quest for the surreal takes us to the plain of Thessaly in central Greece, to a landscape that honestly appears to be a geological fantasy. Here, colossal pillars of dark sandstone rise vertically from the flat valley floor, some reaching heights of over 400 meters. They are smooth, sheer, and, well, seemingly inaccessible. This is Meteora, which translates to suspended in the air, and perched atop these pillars are some of the most daringly constructed buildings on the planet. The Monasteries of Meteora. The origin of these pillars is a geological saga. Around 60 million years ago, this area was the bed of a vast inland sea. Rivers flowed into it, depositing a mixture of sand, stone, and mud. Over millions of years, these sediments were compressed into solid rock. Then, immense tectonic forces uplifted the entire region, and the seabed was raised. Weathering, wind, water, and earthquakes began to sculpt the mass, carving away the weaker points and leaving these immense, solid pillars standing alone. For centuries, these pillars were objects of awe and fear, places of solitude for hermit monks who would seek isolation in small caves high up the rock faces. But in the 14th century, facing increasing political instability and raids, the monastic community embarked on an extraordinary project. They decided to build their sanctuaries on the very tops of these inaccessible pillars, creating a refuge that was as close to God and as far from man as possible. The construction of these monasteries is a story of almost superhuman faith and ingenuity. With no roads and no modern machinery, every single stone, every beam of wood, and every bag of provisions had to be hauled to the summit. The primary method was a system of ropes, nets, and pulleys. Monks and materials were hoisted up in a net, a terrifying ascent that could take up to 30 minutes, entirely dependent on the strength of their brothers above and the integrity of the rope, which they famously said was only replaced when the Lord let it break. For centuries, this was the only way to access these sky-high sanctuaries. Another method involved retractable wooden ladders, which could be pulled up in times of danger, leaving the monastery completely isolated and impregnable. Life was austere and devoted entirely to prayer and contemplation. The monks lived in a world apart, surrounded by breathtaking views and a profound, echoing silence, their lives a testament to their desire to escape the worldly temptations below. Today, steps have been carved into the rock and bridges built to allow easier access for pilgrims and visitors to the 6 remaining active monasteries. Yet, the sense of awe remains undiminished. To stand in a monastery courtyard and look out is to be suspended above the world. The valley floor is a distant patchwork of fields and villages, and the other rock pillars stand around you like silent, colossal brethren. The monasteries themselves are treasures of Byzantine art, their chapels adorned with magnificent frescoes and their libraries holding precious manuscripts. But the true marvel of Meteora is the audacious union of human aspiration and geological wonder. It is a landscape that speaks of both the immense, slow power of the earth and the incredible, faith-driven determination of humankind to find sanctuary and touch the divine. From the spiritual heights of Greece, we plunge towards the turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean to a tiny island off the coast of Bali, Indonesia. This is Nusa Penida, an island of rugged limestone cliffs and pristine beaches. And here, we find a coastal formation so distinctive, so utterly dramatic, that it has become an icon of natural artistry, Kelingking Cliff, and the beach it guards. From the primary viewpoint, the headland presents an astonishing profile. It is an immense limestone cliff that juts out into the ocean, its ridgeline and curving neck of land uncannily resembling the head and spine of a Tyrannosaurus rex. The head of the beast is a verdant tree-covered promontory, while its spine is a narrow, razor-backed ridge that plunges dramatically towards a secluded crescent of perfect white sand far, far below. This incredible shape is the result of relentless coastal erosion. The relentless power of the Indian Ocean has battered this limestone coast for millennia. Softer rock has been worn away, leaving this harder, more resistant ridge standing defiant against the waves. The sea has carved and sculpted, undercutting the cliffs and shaping the headland into this primeval, reptilian form. It is a masterpiece of hydraulic artistry, a sculpture on a colossal scale. The view from the clifftop is one of the most breathtaking in the world. The water below is a mesmerizing palette of blues, from deep sapphire to brilliant turquoise where the sunlight penetrates to the sandy bottom. White-crested waves crash against the base of the cliffs, their spray rising into the air. Manta rays, like giant graceful birds, can often be seen gliding through the clear water, adding to the prehistoric feel of the place. But to truly experience Kelingking is to attempt the descent to the beach. The trail is not for the faint of heart. It is a perilous, near-vertical scramble down the spine of the T-Rex. The path is rudimentary, often just a series of bamboo railings and rough-hewn steps carved into the dirt and rock. It is a test of nerve and agility, a descent that demands your full attention with every single step. The reward for this harrowing journey is a paradise found. Kelingking Beach is a strip of pristine, powder-soft white sand, enclosed by the towering amphitheater-like cliffs. Down here, the scale of the landscape is overwhelming. The cliffs soar above you, cutting you off from the world. The sound of the ocean is immense, the waves powerful and untamed. It feels like a lost world, a secret beach at the end of the earth, earned through courage and effort. Kelingking Cliff is a powerful reminder of the dynamic, ever-changing nature of our coastlines. It is a snapshot in geological time, a form that is constantly being altered by the very forces that created it. It is a place of raw, savage beauty, where the land meets the sea in a spectacular ongoing battle. To stand on its edge or on the secluded beach below is to witness the Earth's raw power and its capacity to create forms that ignite our imagination. For our final destination, we journey to a mountain range so unique in its color and form that it has been called the Pale Mountains. These are the Dolomites of northern Italy, a section of the Alps that stands apart, a geological wonder born from a warm tropical sea. Their jagged spires, sheer walls, and distinctive pale rock tell a story that begins over 250 million years ago, in an ancient ocean called Tethys. These mountains were not born of the violent collision of continents in the way most of the Alps were. Instead, their story is one of life, death, and petrification. In the warm, shallow waters of the Tethys Ocean, vast coral reefs flourished, teeming with algae, shells, and marine organisms. Over millions of years, the calcium carbonate skeletons of these creatures built up on the seafloor, layer upon layer, creating massive atolls and barrier reefs. Then, as the African and European tectonic plates began to converge, this ancient seabed was slowly, inexorably uplifted. The primordial ocean drained away, and what was once a vibrant underwater world was pushed thousands of meters into the sky. The immense pressure and heat transformed the coral and sediment into a unique type of rock dolomite, a carbonate rock rich in both calcium and magnesium, which gives the mountains their characteristic pale color. The appearance of the Dolomites is unlike any other mountain range. Erosion has carved the uplifted reefs into the dramatic forms we see today. There are not the typical jagged peaks and ridges of granite ranges, but vast, vertical walls, colossal towers, and flat-topped massifs that still retain the shape of the ancient atolls. It is a landscape of startling verticality, a fossilized reef exposed to the sky. The most magical quality of the Dolomites is a phenomenon known as enrosadera, or alpenglow. At sunrise and sunset, the pale dolomite rock acts like a natural canvas. The low-angled sunlight strikes the peaks, and they ignite in a spectacular display of color, shifting from fiery orange to deep red, then to pink and violet, before finally fading into the gray of twilight. It is a breathtaking spectacle, the mountains seemingly blushing as the day begins or ends. This unique geology has created a paradise for climbers and walkers. The sheer walls offer some of the most challenging and famous climbs in the world, while a network of high-altitude trails, or vie ferrate, iron paths, allows walkers to traverse breathtakingly exposed ledges and ridges, aided by steel cables and ladders first installed during the First World War when these mountains formed a brutal front line. To walk among the Dolomites is to walk through a petrified ocean. The rock under your feet contains the fossilized remains of countless ancient creatures. You are exploring a landscape lifted from the depths of time, a world of coral reefs transformed into alpine giants. The Dolomites are not just mountains, they are a monument to life's persistence, a spectacular library of Earth's deep history, written in stone and lifted into the clouds. From the transient walls of a snow canyon to the petrified coral of an ancient sea, we have journeyed to the edges of the believable. We have stood on ledges that defy gravity, climbed to temples in the clouds, and descended to beaches guarded by primeval beasts of stone. These places are the Earth's poetry, written in rock, ice, and water. They are powerful evidence that our planet is a place of unending wonder, with a capacity for creation that far exceeds our own fleeting imagination. Each of these landscapes tells a story of immense forces and unimaginable timescales. They are not merely static scenery. They are active, dynamic environments, still being shaped by the wind, the water, and the slow, powerful pulse of the Earth itself. They challenge our perspective, reminding us of our small place in a history that is profoundly deep and complex. They inspire awe, command respect, and call to the spirit of exploration that resides in all of us. These are just a few of the places where Earth's imagination runs wild. Which one would you dare to visit? The world is filled with such marvels, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. The stories are there, etched into every cliff face and mountain peak. All we have to do is learn how to read them, and in doing so, perhaps better understand our own connection to this beautiful, surreal, and truly incredible planet.